Welcome back to Decomposing. This is Daria, and today I've got a very curious question. Something a little less technical than some of our other subjects on the show. And that is, do our ears adapt to music? So in my own life, there would be times where I would hear a song or go through an entire album and not really be a fan of it. Then, given some time, one way or another, I would find my way back to the music and suddenly love it. Do you ever find this to happen with music? Okay, or also there's some times where it's not so quick of a transition, but there will be a piece of music that I'm pretty unenthusiastic about. Maybe I might like one element of it, and then as time goes on, you just can't stay away from it. It just starts to grow on you. Another personal example for me was when I took a class in school called Music and World Culture, which obviously studied music from different parts of the world. And we would work in units, so each culture would get about 4 or 5 weeks to be focused on. And while you can't learn everything about a culture's music in that amount of time, it was shocking for me to see just how your view and opinion of music would change in that short of a period. So every unit, we would start by being exposed to some kind of popular form of music. And every time, without fail, I would be stunned. And not in a way that I meant to be critical or offensive, but I would hear the music and think, that's what people of this culture listen to regularly? For pleasure? Just because of how vastly different it was from what we're used to hearing in the Western world. And then, as the unit progressed, every time, without fail, the music would grow on me, so much that I don't think I was ever entirely satisfied in my knowledge of the culture and music to move on to the next. Another example. On the side, I host a radio show on a genre of music popular in the UK, and it's just a very particular style that's often more relatable to people who are from the UK because of the references they make in the lyrics and the way the songs are delivered, which is, on occasion, in a quite heavy accent. So sometimes when I hear the music upon first listening, the accents can be a little jarring to me, just because it's not what I'm used to hearing. I like to tell my English friends that sometimes my American ears just need to be allowed some time to get used to the song or artist. And that's just the thing. Usually given some time, I learn to appreciate and thoroughly enjoy the artist or song, which sometimes you might be quick to slash off and not give another chance to. I think sometimes it's worth letting music kind of sit in with you. Now, those are just 2 examples of my ears adapting culturally, which can be a little easier to explain because it just isn't what our ears are trained to hear or are familiar with hearing. But what seems most interesting to me about this is obviously it's something cognitive, because between first and second, or however many other listens it takes to get used to a piece of music, the song doesn't change at all, but you do. Surely we don't just choose out of the blue when we've changed our mind about liking or disliking the way something sounds. There's a few different theories on how music grows on us. The first is my own. So it's a little dramatically chance, but sometimes I like to think that music grows on us because it's what we need to hear at that time in our life. Sometimes it seems that music just doesn't make its way through to you until you can relate or find commonality between the lyrics, emotions, and feel of the song. Something really emotionally heartfelt might not make its impression on you when you aren't going through a stage of life that demands something like that. But eventually, when you are, it might be a song that holds an irreplaceable slot in your consciousness. This is a little bit like that puddle analogy where everything just coincidentally fits into place and too easily describes something far more complex. But I like to think it holds some truth. Another theory is that musical tastes shift depending on things like age and encountering different life circumstances or feats. The most common being when we're teenagers, we tend to listen to more intense music because of all the drastic changes we're suddenly exposed to. And then in adulthood, music that is more mellow and contemporary while we're kind of wading our way through the water and developing more crucial relationships. And then later in life, music that's sophisticated and unpretentious, where we kind of land at this sense of comfort and, maybe even that idea of wisdom we project on people of a certain age. Lastly, music growing on us has even been described in the context of nature and nurture. Some music is going to instantly appeal to our sensibilities in the same way that anything else does, like liking certain foods or having favorite colors. Nurture explains that the music we've listened to previously is going to affect how we listen to all other music because it's a comparison process. With an example like, if a new band plays a song reminiscent of your song with your best friend from high school, then it might immediately appeal to you, as opposed to something entirely unfamiliar. This concept of music growing on you, it's very strange. Of course, as the way our taste with anything can change over time, it's probably something we'll never truly be able to completely nail down. But I would be curious what you as listeners think of these theories and ideas. Do you think our ears adapting has more to do with our state of mind or our expansion of perspective? Meaning, do we need to practice adjusting to sounds, or does our relationship with the music change our opinion of it? Is it worth taking the time to let songs grow on you? Have you ever tried to let a song grow on you, but it never did? And which of these theories makes the most sense to you? Well, I think that's enough prompts to keep you thinking about this subject. But join me again in the next episode where we'll be discussing yet another music world phenomena, probably one of my favorites, and that is the concept of band breakups. Why do they happen? Why are they so common? Are they a bad thing? And why exactly they might be inevitable? Thanks again for listening. This has been Decomposing with me, Daria Lawson. To listen to previous episodes of the podcast and other Arrow podcasts, visit SoutheastArrow.com/multimedia. And feel free to shoot me any emails about the program at delawson1s@cmo.edu.